The Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairing on it. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. Check, we Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death. I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops, then find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairing on it. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing, sun up, baby.
Yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack, Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the swag, pull up where you at. No cap if the Brody is speaking the soft facts. My advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walk it, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Scotty. Listen, happy Father's Day to all my fathers out there. I see a couple fathers I know. My man Damon. You already know my boy Dave in the building. Who Who else here? T Smooth probably got some kids, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to all my fathers. Happy Father's Day. You know, we ain't, you know what I'm saying? You know, we don't really. Is there a dad song? Dave, I know you like the hip hop guru. Is there like a father song? You know what I'm saying? Like there's a mama, you know what I'm saying? Mama, you know, you know, you got all that. Is there like a daddy, you know, you raised me? Is there anything like that? Is there anything like that? Shout out to my boy KC with the donation. Appreciate you. Daughters, Nas. Okay, be a father to your child, Edo G. Tears from my father. Dance with my father again. Okay, dance with my father again. Yeah, gotta get the Luther. Ooh, gotta get the Luther. No, nobody. Okay, let's talk about this before we go any further. PZ, you don't know what you just started. Okay, yesterday. Right? Yesterday, me and my home, I'm opening call lines up early, okay? I'm opening these jokers up early. You don't even know what you started, PZ. Yesterday, I was at my homeboy's crib, right? And oh, I love that song, Just the Two of Us. Oh, I absolutely love that song. Good choice, Dante. I was talking to my friend, and I'm not a Boyz II Men fan. I think they're overrated. I'm here to say it. I don't care. You can unsubscribe today. I think Boyz II Men is overrated. Now, vocally, they can sing, okay? Nobody's taking that away from them.
You are the only participant in the conference.
Okay.
All participants are muted.
Okay. They're just overrated to me. Vocally, they can sing, overrated. So my boy's like, oh, Boyz II Men's the truth. I'm like, yo, Boyz II Men can't even see New Edition. New Edition is better than Boyz II Men, hit for hit. Now, this is the thing, though. This is where Boyz II Men gets you, right? Boyz II Men, the reason they're so relevant is because all their songs happen at major events. Let me explain, right? Mother's Day, Dear Mama, your friend died. Sorry, you know, it's so hard. They got that, right? You get married. They got Bended Knee. Christmas, Let It Snow. All your major events, they have a song. That's why you constantly hear them. But they're not better than New Edition. They're not better than New Edition. That's a flat out. That's just flat out. They're not. First of all, none of them jokers did anything individually. Everybody talks about Wanye, Juan Moore, Wine Drink. Everybody talks about him, but he ain't really done nothing individually. Individually, New Edition is still the shit. BBD, Bobby Brown, Johnny Gill, Ralph Tresvant, they all, come on, man. That's like putting the Avengers together. They all did stuff individually, amazingly, by the way. And then when they come together, they still New Edition. So that is just, come on. And when the group big bro'd you. The group big bro'd you. Bev, come on. Stop it. It's not the same, man. I'm sorry. Man, I called everybody and their mama last night. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm just calling people, who's better? Boyz II Men, New Edition. They're like, New Edition. I'm like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, man, that set me off last night. I ain't even going to hold you, bro. I'm sorry. That is, like, come on, man. What are we talking about? That's not even the same, bro. It's not even the same. Anyway, I'm sorry. Like I told you, Peasy, you didn't know what you started when you said that, but I'm glad you brought that up. But I just want to be very clear about that. Anyway, let's go. All right, let's move on. Happy Father's Day, as I said in the beginning. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Listen, let's be real. There's some people you might have lost during this time. You know, brothers, uncles who were father figures to you. They all count at during this time. So my heart goes out to anybody who's lost somebody important. that was a father figure in their life. My heart definitely goes out to you guys. And all the fathers that are currently present, like I said on Twitter, man, hey, keep breaking the stereotypes, bro. Black fathers keep breaking molds and keep breaking stereotypes. They love to tell us what we not, but they won't show what we do. All right, you know I hate dropping bars. All right, so just want to be very clear. Just want to be very clear. I'll take Jagged Edge over Boyz II Men, but I'll take Drew Hill over Boyz II Men, but that's neither here nor there. We're not here to talk about that right now, okay? But I'm just telling you, I'm just not a Boyz II Men fan. I just think they're overrated. They get on my nerves. Anyway, right? But that Let It Snow does hit though. I ain't gonna fake that. Let it snow. But it's because of Brian McKnight. Oh yes, rest in peace, Big Pokey. Rest in peace, H-Town. One of H-Town legends, all right? So, just saying. That's just me. I'm not a big Silk guy. Not a big Silk. Yeah, not a big Silk guy. But anyway, so just want to throw those out. We're not talking about, listen, we can talk about that on the next Friday kickback. We can talk about all the groups, but Drew Hill don't get enough respect. Drew Hill does not get enough respect. They just don't. They just don't. I just want to be very clear. I want to be very clear about that. Drew Hill does not get enough respect. Okay, just want to be very clear about that. But once again, anyway, I'm not about to go there with you, Dave. Okay, I'm not about to go with you. But see, that's what I'm saying, though. They have songs at major events. That's why they're so relevant. All their songs are always played at major events. That's why it's like, although we've come, it's okay. Who cares? But you're not that good. Okay, I'm not doing that with y'all tonight. Okay, we did not come here for that. On the next Friday kickback, we'll just let it fly. Okay, we'll just let it fly. I'll bring Dave on, and we'll just let these music stuff fly next Friday kickback. But now we're not doing that right now. Okay, I'm not. Anyway. Who is calling me? Why is it connected to my blue? Oh, that's because I got my FaceTime. My bad, guys. Let me because people be calling me. So let me get up out of this thing real quick. Let me see. All right, there we go. Okay, cool. Somebody's leaving the mic. Come on, man. All right, let's stay focused. Thank you, Dave. Let's stay focused. All right, we are talking about today the XFL HBCU Showcase. I'm not even looking at the chat no more. Okay, not even looking at the chat no more. I'm not giving you guys my attention because you're gonna piss me off, and we're gonna be on music for the next 30 minutes. Right? That's why it's called Offscript for a reason, and I'm gonna be just wilding off the edge. But we are here because of the XFL review. Okay, I was there. Now I'm gonna be 100% with you. It was just too damn hot. Okay, I stayed there until about 2:30, 3 o'clock. I stayed there till about the middle of the offensive session. I left right before they did offensive drills, but I was there. Listen to me now. I was there from 6 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. Now, when I tell y'all I be putting in work, because mind you, I live in McDonough. It's about a 35 to 40-minute drive to Clark, Atlanta, because it's right by the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You know what I'm saying? So I was there. I was in the weeds. I was there. Now, I'm not going point no elbows to a news outlet that is also in Atlanta that just so happens to go by Fox News and was literally there for 12 minutes and dipped. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say it again, okay? I'm not going to say it again. All I'm going to say is another entity that is also in Atlanta, that is also going by Fox News, was there for literally 12 minutes and dipped. I'm just going to leave it at that. Don't say it again. I'm just going to leave it at that. But you was at the last one, and you was there for the... You know what? That ain't my business. That ain't my business. That ain't my business. Okay. I did. I had dog. You are so damn. You know me so well. I ain't even gonna fake. I had my Offscript black jersey on. I had a black shirt underneath that. And then I had dark blue jeans on. So I was baking. Okay, I was a dark brownie bacon out there. Whoo! It was hot. Damn, it was hot. All right, so let's get into it. All right, let's get to it. First and foremost, I gotta give a shout out to Clark Atlanta. They were such great hosts. Shout out to Coach Willie Slater. Shout out to Coach Moncrief and the whole football staff. Shout out to the AD, the assistant to the director, the AD, everybody, my boy David. Everybody was dope, man. Everybody was dope. Now, okay. Shout out to the boosters up in the booster section of Clark Atlanta. Clark Atlanta has a really nice stadium, by the way. I just want to be very clear about that. You got Morehouse that look like a damn jail cell. You got Clark Atlanta that looks like night and day. You know what I'm saying? So Clark Atlanta has a beautiful stadium. But now, listen, it wouldn't be an HBCU event if some dumb shit didn't pop off. Right? It wouldn't be an HBCU event if some dumb stuff did not pop off. So let me tell you this, because you know how I know? I didn't stay for just 12 minutes. I was there from 6 a.m. to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So let me tell you what happened, right? So the event is supposed to start. Right? And if anybody's been to Clark Atlanta, there's a walk path that can take you directly to the field, right? So there's a parking lot up the hill, and then there's a walking path, and then there's a gate. Now that gate had a lock on it. I'm gonna say it again so you heard me. Their gate had a lock on it. Now ask me who had the key to that said gate. Now, mind you, you have been preparing for this showcase for, let's say, the last 2 weeks, and you guys did not think that, hey, maybe we should find out who has the key to that gate. See, that's the stuff. That's the stuff with ninjas. You just be like, y'all really? Y'all didn't, nobody planned? Because it was such a great setup, right? The players were parking that parking lot really close to the stadium. They would walk. The premise was great. They park up there. They walk down the sidewalk. They come through the gate. They check in. They go to the locker room. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Bamas couldn't find the key. Bamas didn't know who had the key. So guess what they had to do? These Bamas had to get bolt cutters. You knew you had an HBCU showcase. You knew that the kids is going to have to walk down the sidewalk to get to this event. And Bamas didn't even have the key to the gate. They had to get bolt cutters. And they was ripping and running trying to find bolt cutters. That is what ninjas do. That's the pinnacle of ninjas. You be like, bro, really? Like y'all were that? Come on, man. Come on, bro. So that was it. That was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. Because that just tells you, like, they don't, like, so nobody had the key to this junk. Like, this junk, how long has this gate been locked and nobody got a key? You get what I'm saying? So it's just, but overall, I would still give them an A. After that, I mean, there was some other stuff that happened, like, like ants getting into the donuts. But that's a little HBCU love. That's all that was, a little HBCU love, you know what I'm saying? Ants getting into the donuts. You know what I'm saying? Just a little HBCU love inside the, the football facility. Ain't anybody tripping off that. You know what I'm saying? The caucus of the mountains people was like, you might not want to go into the donut bag because there's ants in there. Me, you know what I'm saying? Hey, this Krispy Kreme, baby. Dust the man's right off. I don't know. This glaze is hitting. I see why these ants want this donut. This glaze is hitting. So miss me with that. You know what I'm saying? The Caucus of the Mountains, they were just like, oh my God, there's ants. There's Scotty, no, go there. There's ants in there. No. I don't know who you talking to. These ants gonna have to move over because I'm getting me one of these Krispy Kreme glaze. Dust off and we gonna keep it rolling. So you missed it. Not about to miss my blessing because of ant. Nah, I'm good on that. So extra protein. Okay, extra pro. Yeah, listen, I am not tripping off that. All right, so listen, we're gonna get to the good, bad, and the ugly of this whole thing now. Let me show you how. So this is how it worked. It was a breakdown. It was 100 players invited, right? It's 100 players invited, 50 from the defense, 50 from the offense, right? That's how this thing was set up. It was invitation only. It was actually free. Let me make that very clear. It was free. Now, every other showcase that was not HBCU is $260, right? And I was told by a staff member that you could go to everyone, okay? You could go to every one. It was $260. No Kamari Everett. All right. It was $260. So let's say you want to go to the Vegas one, you want to go to the Georgia State, because there was one in Georgia State the next day, right? At Georgia State. That's a whole nother thing. I'll tell y'all about that too. So $260, but this one for the HBCU players was free, right? So that is what it was. Where am I going to take this? I'm going to start with the ugly. Okay, I'm going to start with the ugly. It was janky. Now, I'll say one thing about people from the Caucasus Mountains. They are very structured. So the structure of it was not janky, right? Like the processes, the signing in, getting your jersey, the time frame, the framing of it was not janky. Let me be very clear. How it looked for a professional event was janky. That's the difference, right? Because you got to look, it's two ways you can look at this thing, right? You can look at it and say, well, they're a startup business and they can't afford to put money into making things look nice. Let me be very clear about that, right? So you can look at it that way. They're doing showcases in so many different places. They can't make every place look nice. So everything they use came from Clark, Atlanta. Let me be very clear about that. Right? Everything they did came from Clark, Atlanta. Every pad, every tent, every water cooler, nothing. The only thing the XFL brought was the people for the event, the cones used, and I'm talking about the little soccer cones, like the little circular cones and all that type of stuff. They brought that and the T-shirts. That is it. They had their own media team there. That was it. They didn't bring anything extra. There was not a tent there was not one tent on there that said XFL. There was nothing that made that event a luxury. Like you're like, wow, I came to this. It was nothing like that, right? So there was no fan blowing water, right? Because it was hot. I'm telling you, it was hot, right? The music was provided by, I was the DJ for a little bit of it, but Clark Atlanta had this really dope boombox that they brought out, and they were using that for music as well. So when I tell you, everything was put on by Clark Atlanta, it was just the XFL administrating it. That's what that was, right? So, yes. Another thing that was ugly about this event, there's too much technology for you to not have laser timers. I'm going to die on this hill. The XFL should be ashamed of themselves that they can't even bring out laser timers for their own event. That is ass. Beyond ass. Trash. They had Bamas out there with stopwatches, hand times. 4.6, 4.65, 4.71, 4.73. So now we just taking averages. Absolutely ass. Absolutely ass. So I'm gonna die on that hill. There was no vertical jump thing there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no vertical jump thing there that you got to touch that. It wasn't that. They had none of that. I don't get it, man. I didn't get that. That really pissed me off. I thought that was really bad. I thought that was a bad look. You're a professional league. And I can listen. I can get what you not wanting to put banners and flyers up. I can get with that. That's frivolous. I get all that, right? Frivolous. But this is my kicker to this. Danny, the CEO, co-founder, whatever, they got enough money to get a trailer to come out and hold her in there until the next session came. There was no branding. If you would have drove by the stadium, you would have not known the XFL was there at all unless you looked at the scoreboard. There was absolutely no branding at the event. None whatsoever, other than the shirts the Bama's was wearing and on the scoreboard. Fox News can't tell you that because they was only there for 12 minutes. But let's continue, right? So they got a whole trailer, right, to keep the co-founder in there, keep her comfortable, whatever, blah, 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 until she came and out. That's going to be part of my good, but that you could pay for that, but you can't pay for laser timers that you could take to every showcase and travel with. You can, but okay, to each his own. All right, so let's get it. Let's talk about the bad, right? The bad. The bad was you only got one chance to do your stuff. Now, this is the kicker, right? Because I wanted to be a good journalist, I asked them, I said, hey, can I go to the Georgia State one tomorrow just to compare and contrast the talent and everything like that? They said it wasn't open to the media. So to me, I'm like this. So you're using the HBCU as a media get, in my opinion. In my opinion, I'm just saying my opinion. Because you can't explain to me why I'm allowed to come in and view the HBCU combine, but the next day I can't go to the Georgia State combine and watch the same thing. It's literally the same exact thing on the next day, but I'm allowed to go to the HBCU one, but I'm not allowed to go to the Georgia State one, and they're literally doing the same exact thing. The only difference is one is free and one is $260. But okay. Right? So I ain't like that. I ain't like that at all. You were only allowed to run 140. Listen to me, guys. That is atrocious. Atrocious. Think about this. If you have waited your whole life for this moment and you stumble out of your stance, if you run the wrong way, if you like, you didn't do it right, you only had one. Listen, I'm talking about Eminem, right? Palms are sweaty, vomit on his sweat already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous. You only get one shot. Do not let your chance to blow, right? They only let them run. They only were allowed to do one event one time. Listen to me. If that isn't the worst combine or showcase ever, because I talked to one of the scouts there and they said, I really don't like this. And I said, why? They said, because you can have a guy who's like, let's say you run a 4.4, right? Well, could that just be a one-off? Is that really how fast you are, right? So they wanted the second one to just see, right? Or it can go for the opposite. If a kid runs a 4.7 or 4.6 because he stumbled or he zigzagged while running the 40 because he was nervous, is he really that slow? Right? So you don't get the chance to bounce off or improve your numbers. That is the worst thing about the showcase, is that literally you get one chance, one opportunity. Think about it like this. If you pay that's why I wanted to go to the Georgia State one, right? One run with hand. Yes, come on, Mr. Damon. Now you preaching. Now you seeing it. You get one run with hand timers. One run with hand timers. Not laser, hand. Now, that's why I wanted to go to the Georgia State one. I wanted to go to the Georgia State one because if I'm paying $260 and get to run $140, that's ass. Absolutely ass. Right? So, that's what you're dealing with. That is what you're dealing with when you go to this, when you went to the HBCU Showcase. So, it's things like that. If you did not know, you'd be like, oh, yeah, like it's all good. The drills were okay. But you got to, like, the measurements is what the reason you're there is because of the drills, like the L drill, the vertical jump, the broad jump. All those things are there for a reason. And if you're only given, the NFL doesn't even do that. The NFL has over 200 people, or 150, 200, however many people come to the NFL draft, and they give you 2 opportunities to better yourself. The XFL put on a showcase for 100 kids. Listen to me. 50 in the first half, 50 in the second half. So you telling me out of 50 kids, you couldn't allow them to do the events twice? Out of 50 kids, you couldn't allow them to do the events twice. Ass, stupid, point blank dumb. But I have nothing to compare it to any other showcase because I didn't get to go to the Georgia State Showcase because it wasn't open to the media. But for $260, oh yeah, I'm running more than one time. Now, if the scouts asked you to run again, if one of the scouts wanted you to run again, you had the opportunity to do so. But if not, that's it. You shit out of luck. You SOL. Right? So those are some bad things that I didn't appreciate from. And last but not least, the good. The good is I have to give the XFL credit, right? The co-founder was there. Coach Reggie Barlow, head coach of the year, was in the building, right? Giving guys tips, walking around, really conversing with the players. The players coming up to Coach Barlow like, hey, man, listen, I'm nice. Like, give me a chance. Coach Barlow giving out his cell phone number. Like, Coach Barlow, listen, man, Coach Barlow walks what he talks. He showed up. He didn't sit in the back or he didn't sit up in the booth. No. Coach Reggie Barlow was walking around, talking to the players. Hey, man, what's your story? What's this? Da-da-da. Tell me some more about this. Okay. Send me your tape. Here's my Coach Reggie Barlow was in the building and he was real talk, Holyfield, doing the HBCU kids right, doing them justice. The Rock was not there. The Rock was not there. Nah, The Rock was not there. Right? So it was amazing, man. If anybody has a chance, if you know Coach Reggie Barlow, me and Coach Reggie Barlow talked for a long time. Man, he is such a trip. He's so funny, right? But if you get an opportunity on his social media, whatever, just give him the praise and respect that he deserves on Twitter, because a lot of that stuff goes unseen, right? Because we talk about people giving back or coming back to HBCUs to lend a hand. Coach Reggie Barlow is standing in the gap. He's standing in the gap. Chris Blair, Alcorn. Now he's with the Atlanta Falcons, right? He's using those examples like me, bro. I came from Alabama State. Like, I live this. I love this. You know what I'm saying? So he's standing in the gap. But shout out to the Danny for coming out. She was there. She was present for the photo ops, you know what I'm saying? She was present for the photo ops, you know what I'm saying? So she came out, she spoke to the team, both sessions. She congratulated the people that were there, you know what I'm saying? So she did her thing, she was mostly there for the photo ops, but she did her thing. She came out, she talked and everything like that. But it was a good, like, the people that ran the event. Because what I found out is that, and this is, once again, if you stay longer than 12 minutes, you actually learn some stuff. Fox News, if you stay longer than 12 minutes, you might learn some stuff. What's up, gents? Appreciate you for tuning in, right? And gents, if you staying on here, I'm going to tell you some stuff that you need to tell your homeboys and players, right? That when you go back to Jackson, you let them know, right? The XFL, like, the people that work the event are not actual football people. Now, they work for they are contracted out, right? So let's say you're a teacher, but you've played football before, right? So you could be teaching, and then your contractor gets the call, and they call you from your job, and now you're traveling with the XFL putting on these events. But they were great people, though. I ain't gonna lie. They were great people, super nice, super respectful. Nobody was mean, none of that. All right. None of that. So it was dope. They were great. They were great guys. They treated everybody with respect. You know what I'm saying? So great opportunity. So all the contracted people were dope. Now, gents, this is for you and your people, or whoever's watching this from HBCU schools. Let me tell you guys this. I talked to a scout that was at the event. He said there's two things, right? The major things is, one, you have to look the part. This is what a scout told me at the event. He said the first thing they're going to notice is, do you look the part? Right? That's just the eye test. His arms, his height, his weight, his, the position that he's in. All, do you fit the eye test? And then after the eye test, can you make somebody say, wow? Like, whoa. Okay. Hey, look at that. Look at this. He ran this. He jumped that. Right? I'll tell you this, is that people who can test out the gym, they get a great opportunity to make showcases like this, because you're showing them like, oh wow, he's a physical specimen. And the last thing is this, guys, let me tell you this, and listen to me if you're a player on here currently, you need to be practicing every single drill. Right? You need to be practicing every drill that is being tested. That is the 40, That is the L drill. That is the vertical. That's the broad jump. You need to do that stuff with your eyes closed. You need to be so good at it that it's nothing to you. Because there were so many kids that just didn't know how to properly do the drill, how to properly do the 3-cone drill, how to properly do the L drill. And when you go to an XFL showcase like this and they only give you one opportunity, there is no redo. There is no let me get another chance. Let me try it again. There is none of that. So you gotta be, when you have an opportunity to test, you need to tell your coaches, you need to do all that. Your coaches need to be teaching you all how to properly do the combine. If that means bringing in an expert, if that means bringing in somebody to teach you all how to properly do the combine, that's what you need to do. Because I'm telling you, listen, you can't afford to be going there and that be the first time you see the drill. That can't be the answer. That cannot be the answer. All right, because it was too many times that I'm seeing people do the 3-cone drill and they're not exploding off the middle because it's only be a few steps. Should be like 3 steps to the first cone, you touch and you going. But you got people shuffling their, come on. Right? You got to come prepared, man. You can't have people doing that type of stuff. So just a little few things. Let me see. Did you get the Rock interview? No, I didn't. The Rock didn't show up. Just the co-founder, Danny. She was there. She was dope, though. She was really nice. Was HBCU game there, though? Now, I'll tell you this. HBCU game there was there for 12 minutes. They missed the whole first defensive. They came in the intermission section. Listen to me very carefully. They missed the whole defensive section. They weren't there for the defensive side of the ball, right? They came during the intermission in between the transfer over to the offensive players. They got a couple interviews with Reggie Barlow. They got a couple interviews with players, the defensive players. See, they got a couple interviews with the defensive players that were leaving the field, right? They stayed there for a couple offensive of the quarterbacks just throwing, and then they were gone. So you might think they were there. They were not. They were literally there for 12 minutes, no more than 20. I promise you. I was there from 6 a.m. to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So when you watch that video and they chop it up and no, they were not. They were literally there for 15 minutes and said deuces. Right? So just let y'all know this. All righty. Let me say this. The defensive, now these are just all my thoughts. Let me put that very clear. Offscript thoughts, right? These are all my thoughts on the event. The defense was head and shoulders above offense. The defensive session of the day, way better talent. Way better talent. Way better talent, right? The best player, bar none, was, listen, I don't care who got picked. Listen to me very carefully. Listen to me very carefully. I do not give a damn who they pick from that first session. This Bama right here was the best player on the field. I do not care. I don't care what you say. Right? He was the best player on the field. The only knock that I kept hearing was his height. That's the only knock I kept hearing was his height. But other than that, BJ Bowler was the best prospect on the field. Period. Listen, he was fluid. The drills, he was fluid. He ran a 4.35 40. That was one of the fastest times of the day. It was one of the fastest times of the day. I think the next closest was a 4.38. Was a 4.38 was the closest time to his, but he ran the fastest 40 of the day, right? It was a travesty. But a scout told me this. He said, Scotty, listen, straight up. He said, I got a receiver on my team that is 6'4". What is he going to do with that? You get what I'm saying? He's just being real. He's like, I got a receiver on my team that's 6'4". What can we do with him? And I tried to explain to him, I said, if you watch his tape, he plays bigger than what he is. But at the end of the day, the measurables count. Now, I'm not saying that the guys that got picked were scrubs. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that. But they were not the best football player. The best football player on the defense was this man right here, BJ Bowler. And y'all know how tough I've been on BJ Bowler. So when I'm telling you he showed out and showed out, BJ Bowler showed up and showed out. Everybody remembered this kid's name. Like, he was like that. So I'm going to just keep it a buck with y'all. That just is what it is. That just was what it was. He was the best football player out there defensively. Point blank period. That's just my personal opinion. Right? Offense was atrocious. Oh my God. Now listen, let me show y'all something. I dare you, right? Because you know I'm petty like that. I dare you to go ask anybody from Fox News, do they have one of these? Do they have one of these? I got the agent's emails and stuff, so I can't show y'all that, but ask them if they have a player directory, right? Ask them if they got a scout sheet. Ask them. Ask them if they got a scout sheet. Right? Ask them. If they've been there all day, right? If they've been there all day, ask them that. Right? Ask them if they got a scout sheet for both sessions. Ask them that. Right? So I can literally read you off every 40, right, that was taken on the day. I can read y'all off that because I was out there. So let me just say this, right? Bama's is not as fast as y'all think they are. Let me read some of these 40s off for y'all on yesterday. And you tell me, right? And you tell me, do you think they're NFL or XFL worthy? I'm not going to say their name because I ain't going to disrespect nobody like that. But I'm going to just read you off the 40s. 4.56, 4.63, 4.81, 4.9. These are wide receivers. Listen to me. These are wide receivers. 4.69, 4.65, 4.75, 4.75, 4.81. Another, still on receivers, 4.7, 4.9. These are wide receivers. 4.7, 4.83, 5 flat, 4.51. All right, the kid from Alabama State, Tevin Sharp, ran a 4.4. I'm going to give him a shout out. These are wide receivers. 4.93. I'm lying. The fastest time of the day was Tamarick Vanover Jr. from Morehouse. He ran a 4.33. Right? He ran a 4.33. Now let's get into the running backs. 4.5, 4.56, 4.71, 4.82, 4.97. Like, come on, man. What are we talking about? Right? Hey, listen, Dave, it was the smoothest 4.33 I had ever seen. Both of the siblings came. One came for offense from Morehouse, one came from defense from Morehouse. They both ran 4.3s. So the Vanover Jr., he ran a 4.33. Vanover, the other Vanover, I think it's like Dietrich, he ran a 4.38. Yeah, I think it is. I think they're either one is his son and one is his cousin. So his cousin was there and the son. They both went to Morehouse. They are fast as crap. They are fast as crap. One ran a 4.33, the other one ran a 4. I got it. Right? The other one played DB. Let me see. Yeah, Dedrick Vanover. He ran a 4.38. He played at Morehouse. Yeah. So I got both of them because I was there. You know what I'm saying? So I got how you want it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. You get what I'm saying, Paris? So a lot of people talking like, oh, Scotty, these players need to be drafted. But okay, I'm glad you said that. Okay. Let's talk. Let's chat it up. Because what you guys got to understand, it's not let me tell you what a scout told me. I'm just keeping it a buck with y'all. The scout said this. They said there's nothing wrong with the HBCU Legacy Bowl. There's nothing wrong with it, right? And that's just him trying to not bash it. He said, but how can an evaluator like one played DB, one played wide receiver. He said, how can I truly evaluate the talent if you're going against the same talent? How can I say you're that much better than anybody when you haven't played against anybody at a better level? That's the problem with the Legacy Bowl. The Legacy Bowl is, let's call a spade, is apples against apples. It's shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to you, Aubrey. It's apples against apples, right? So it's just like, I can't see if you're really that guy when you're playing against other guys you've already destroyed. That doesn't make any sense, right? I'm gonna go to a bowl game. Let's say I'm Xavier, right? I'm Xavier Smith. I've been killing everybody in the SWAC. And guess where I'm gonna go? I'm gonna go to a Legacy Bowl where I just been killing the same Bamas in the SWAC. And then you add D2 players into that, I'm gonna kill them too. So he literally said it's no benefit to the players. And I'm gonna just keep it a buck with y'all. Y'all can be mad or whatever. He said there is no benefit to high-level players playing in the Legacy Bowl because the same players that you got your fame off of are the same players you're about to go see again. So what he said needs to happen is that he said, let me give you an example, Scotty. He said, okay, you're a top-level wide receiver, right? I said, yeah. He said, you're a top-level wide receiver. He said, and you go against a cat from Kentucky State, and you do him up. What benefit was that for you? We already knew he played at a lower level. There's no benefit to you. He said, but If you go against the guy at Kentucky and you do him up, now my eyes open up because now he's like, man, maybe we misevaluated this kid. And now I got to go back and watch the tape. That is what it is. So you might not like, you can call it an excuse, you can call it whatever. But when you don't like to hear the truth, when you don't like to hear the truth, this is coming from a scout. This ain't coming from me. I'm at the event talking to the scout. And you can't get mad if that's the scout who is going to give you the recommendation to come to the team. And he's telling you what needs to be done. And he talked to me about Dion. He said, listen, Dion doesn't have a lane to stand on because you can't say that there's talent in HBCU, but you're constantly picking from Power 5, bringing them down to the FCS, talking about, look what we got here at an HBCU. When that's not the case, you got top level talent. They either didn't want to play, they couldn't get on field or whatever. You bring them down and you dominate a lower level. He was like, that's not the same. It is not. He said it is not the same. So once again, I'm telling y'all, it's not me. It's not. I'm not. This is not Scotty. Oh, I talked to a scout that was there. There was a lot of scouts out there, right? A lot of player management from the XFL was out there. And I'm talking to these guys, and they're telling me the truth. They're just like, look, Scotty, you got to pass the eye test. You got to make me say, what? You got to make me say, whoa, who is that? Right? And then we go from there. Because certain things, and this is what the scout says. He says, I don't see a finished product coming out of college. He said, and that's okay. He said, but if you got a couple attributes that I'm like, man, that's good. That's this, that's as a coach, I'm supposed to be able to coach that up. Right. So that's what the scout was saying as a coach. As a coach, I'm supposed to be able to coach that up. So it's like, shout out to my boy X. All right. Shout out to X. Right. So it's like you're supposed to have those. The coach is supposed to take you to the next level. So you're not looking for a finished product out of college. You're just looking for, you know what I'm saying, the attributes or the skill set that you know he can compete on this level. And then from there, you take it another step forward. Right? So it is what it is. Shout out to you, man. Hope you're killing it out there in the LA Rams, my boy. All right. So it's those, like, you got to understand that when you're in a space, in the FCS space, and if we want to get even more niche-y in the HBCU space, there is a lot. There is a lot of things that it has to go right for you outside of just you dominating the game. Thank you, Dre. Thank you. Right? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot that has to go out with you for just dominating the game. So when we get on here and we talk about, oh, this player is draftable and this player is draftable and this player is draftable, there is a lot that we have to unpack realistically. So that means you have to take the fan out of you and you have to break it down realistically. And I keep telling y'all why, and the guy in what's his name? With the truck in his name or whatever. Mr. Jackson, right? When you have guys that think like Mr. Jackson, and he says, well, Emmitt Smith ran a 4.7, right? And he's a Hall of Famer. Well, when you watch his tape, he rarely got caught. Pause. He rarely got ran down playing at Florida. He rarely got ran down playing at the University of Florida. So you're going against top talent, right? And you're not being caught. You're not being ran down on the football field while running a 4.7. I think I can live with that. Because when I turn the tape on and I'm watching you go against Alabama, Florida State, South Carolina, and they're not catching you, clearly that 4.7 has nothing to do with nothing. Okay? What was Torian Taylor's? Let me see. From Tuskegee, the running back, he ran a 4.6. Yeah. I got it right here, so you know I ain't lying. Let me see. Right there. Let me see. Right there. Torian Taylor. So you know I ain't lying, right? I don't want you to think I just made up something. He ran a 4.6 as the running back, Torian Taylor. All right. So you get what I'm saying? So, and you got it. That listen, you have to, right? You have to be able to take it. And Mr. Campbell said something really, really deep one time when we talked about the draft and after the draft process and nobody getting drafted or one player getting drafted. Oh, great question, William. I'll get to that. I'm gonna save it. When he was talking about the dominance of a lot of these players that came from HBCU, when you're talking about the Jerry Rices, when you're talking about the Steve McNairs, when you're talking about the Tavares Jacksons, when you're talking about the Michael Strahans, when you're talking about all these players that got drafted and the dominance in which they show, the Hargraves, right, where they were like 3-year All-Americans, and the numbers were ridiculous. That is on the level that when you come into a space, you need to dominate. You gotta this is my space. I'm not supposed to be here, and let me show you why I'm not supposed to be here. That's what that looks like. And I know it's not fair because you can be average at the Power 5 level and get the opportunity. I know it's not fair. That is just the cards that have been dealt to you. That is just the cards that have been dealt with you. But you can take a Chris Blair route now, right? You can go XFL, dominate, get the opportunity, go to the Falcons, right? And I will tell you this. Listen to me very carefully. Another scout told me this. They will take chances on guys that get invited to NFL camps because they look at it like this. If the NFL thinks you're good enough to get an invite, surely you're good enough to come to the XFL. I'm just telling you what the scout told me. I am just telling you what the scout told me. He said, if you have gotten an invite to an NFL camp, that is a check mark or a box that we're just like, oh, okay. If he got a thing with the Kansas City, or if he got invited to the Cleveland, if he got invited to Oakland, clearly there's something that they've seen in him that they feel he can play on this level. So we will take a chance on him. So when the Chris Blair was a part of the Green Bay Packers, he gets released, he goes to the XFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know he has the ability because he was given the chance at the NFL level. So I'm just telling y'all. Don't get down on these camp invites. Listen, I'm preaching today. I wish somebody would listen to me. Please, when you're talking about, oh, this player got this invite, that stuff is important, right? So take it very seriously because the XFL and USFL are looking at it like, yo, hey, we'll happily take you. If the NFL don't want you, you know what I'm saying? So don't scoff at getting those invites from the NFL, and definitely don't scoff at bouncing back into the XFL to come leap forward. You know what I'm saying? So just take all your opportunities as the best you can. Right. So let me go to William Graves. I'm gonna give you a question. Call lines are open 518-263-8124, 518-263-8124. If you want to ask me any questions about the XFL, maybe something I missed or anything like that, you can call in. Let me get to William Graves' question. Scotty, you got a top 5 prospect you saw outside of BJ. I'm gonna just tell you some guys that I liked. Right? I ain't like none of the quarterbacks. I ain't gonna lie to you. My boy Larry was there, but I ain't like none of the quarterbacks. Out of the defensive backs, I think my boy Ronnie, if Ronnie would have went out for linebacker, if Ronnie Thomas, the former DN at Valley, I think if he would have went out for linebacker, because he ran the fastest, he would have ran one of the fastest 40s as a linebacker. You know what I'm saying? So I think I would have gave him that opportunity if he would have done that. Let me go to the defense, because most of my top players are going to come from the defense side of the ball. They really showed up and showed out. Let me see. I got some notes here. I liked Kamar Martin from Alabama State. No, let me get his measurables. See if they got his measurables in here. No, they don't got his measurables in here. But I like Kamar Martin from Alabama State. He looked really good. He looked really good. He has some good hips, no homo. Was fluid. I think he ran a 4. Let me see. He ran a 4.5. He kind of looked the part as well. So I definitely appreciate it. I liked him a lot. I think he looked really good. Reed from Grambling, he looked the part. I'm not gonna lie to you. He definitely looked the part. He looked fluid. He moved really well in the drills. And his tape is nasty. Joshua Reed's tape is nasty. You gotta give credit to the Van kid. Let me see where he at. He's a DB. Let me go back a page. I'm about to get to you, caller. Let me say this. Yeah, the Diedrich Vanover kid, he opened my eyes just because he ran a 4.38, and watching him in drills, he was okay. He wasn't bad. I would have to go back and watch his tape though, but just in the drills, he looked pretty good. A lot of these DBs did not look that good. I ain't gonna lie to you. They were really stiff in the hips. I didn't see much of Stuckey, if I'm being honest. I didn't see much of him. Something he must have did something for the scouts to make him stand out. So stuff like that. But let me get to 77. Coming to you, caller.
Yo, Scotty.
What's up? What's your name? Where you calling from?
No, what's up, man? It's Nate from Georgia.
Talk to me.
I just had I had a quick question, man. What would you say your eye test was on those guys? And the reason why I ask you that is we're late into we're in the summertime. All the post games and post All-Star games are over with. Do you think these guys are still training for these late invites or these league invites for these different organizations? Or I just want to kind of what your thoughts is on that on your eye from your point of view.
I looked at on these lists, right? Some of these kids have agents and some of these kids don't. And on some of these levels, the agents aren't going to invest that much. They can't really invest that much money because these are all flyers. So I don't really think they're getting the off-season training like they're supposed to be getting at this level. A lot of guys did come in shape. They look pretty well. BJ he looked like he'd been working out. I ain't gonna lie to you. And then some other kids looked like they were ready as well. But if I'm being honest, the talent just wasn't there. It was like, it really was like, man, watching them drills and some of these players, I was like, why are you even here? If I'm being honest,
that's kind of my point.
Yeah, go ahead. No, finish your point.
I want to say that's kind of my point. Like, I don't think these guys. You gotta think as a pro. Like you're applying for a job for someone to pay you to play a game that's very lucrative. And I don't know if they understand that they got to come in prepared and ready to go when they get this opportunity. So that's why I kind of want to get your assessment of the actual players that actually showed up and try to go out for this league.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. There might have been, there might have been 6 kids out there that was draftable.
Wow.
Out of 100, it was 6 kids. Like I'm not trying to be. Maybe I probably could go to 8. I probably could go to 8. A couple O linemen, but I don't really scout O linemen very well, so I kind of stay away from them. I know it was one guy that me and Coach Barlow was talking about, and he was like, "That's a big kid." And that's all he kept saying. That's a big kid, man. He at least a guard. That's a big, you know what I'm saying? So he passed the eye test, you know what I'm saying? But overall, man, it probably was 8 kids out there that I was just like, and most of those came from the defensive side of the ball. Most I know what the kid from Alcorn can do. I seen him destroy a Jackson State team on a sprained MCL. I'm sorry to yell. On a sprained MCL against one of the most talented teams in the SWAC at that time. So I know what he can do. You get what I'm saying? Off that same team where about 4 or 5 players are at minicamp invites right now. And you got Justin Houston, right? That that, you know, could have been the defensive player rookie of the year. And I seen him kill that team single-handedly. So I know what that kid can do. Tyler King, he was unguardable at the HBCU Legacy Bowl. I know how talented that kid is, right? So some of those kids, I just knew their talent. So I'm like, yeah, like I think Ja'Cory Rankin is a pro. I don't think he's an NFL pro, but I think he's a USFL player, an XFL player,
Right.
Because he's that explosive. And if he had a quarterback, you would have seen more production out of him. So I gave him a slight kind of like, you know, talk to Coach Barlow, just like, hey, you might want to check that kid's tape out. Like, he's not as small as you think. He plays big. So, you know, there's a few kids out there, like, yeah, I have to go maybe 8 or 10. I would go 8 or 10 out of that. But the rest of those guys, I was just wondering why they were there. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm like, this ain't for you. This is not for you.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was it, brother, man. I just wanted to chime in on that, man. Keep up the good work, man. Keep doing your thing.
All right, no problem. Appreciate the call, man.
Yep.
Hey, man, listen. I appreciate that, Anderson. Like, I talked to Coach Barlow because me and him talked after the event, and he was like, because I asked him, because I didn't stay for the office, I asked him who got the office award. He told me it was you. And I said, he was like, hey, Scotty, you know what you think? I said, listen, I said, if Alcorn, I said, Coach Barlow, I said, let me break it down to you like this. The Jackson State team had Keontae Hampton, Aubrey Miller, Dejan Nugget, James, Coinis. They had all those guys. I said, and if Alcorn just continued to run the ball with Anderson, they win the game. I said, go look at that 2020. I don't know if it's 2021 or 2020. I said, go look at that 2021 or 2022. I think it's 2021. 2022. Yeah, 2021. I said, go look at the 2021 game at the Soul Bowl and tell me that kid's not a pro. You can't. So you keep doing your thing, Anderson. Keep running the way you run. And hey, listen, that boy, he came, dog. He looked the part. He looked the part. No homo. That boy was built. I'm telling you, he looked like he would like knock anybody out. That Bama was built. I'm talking about muscle on top of muscle, thigh muscle on top of thigh muscle, right? Crazy. That boy was crazy. Who's the 6'3" corner from Alabama State? Is he currently there or did he leave? I'm coming to you, Dre. Coming to you right now.
Hey, what's up? Hey, I'm gonna ask you a question. I ain't gonna use the word responsibility, but how much onus would you put on the coaches preparing players for the pros, and how much would you put on the players? Because some of the coaches have never seen a pro, have never been to it, and they've never been invited to any invite. Some of them have just been great college players, and that's all they know. So all they're trying to do is let's educate you, let's get you through. And you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't know how it is to be a pro, you just don't know that process. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're not thinking that far. And then you got, and you know, that's why certain coaches having that connection, knowing what it takes to get there is just different. So you got some coaches who they never even had the opportunity to be a pro because it wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Yeah. But they also don't know if all of a sudden they get a Scotty who's a pro, they don't know how to nurture that. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. That's good. You know what's funny? Coach Wade, who's currently at Valley, he texted me about the receiver that came from Fort Valley. Oh my God, I'm gonna be so mad at myself. I can't remember his name right now. He texted me a whole year before he went for the draft and said, Scotty, I got a kid. He's a pro. Now, this is coming out of Fort Valley State, Division II, right?
Talking about running back?
No, not Emmanuel. I'm talking about the receiver that got that went to the Ravens, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, the dude with the dreads.
The dude with the dreads. He told me a whole year before he got drafted or he got picked up, he was like, yo, that kid is a pro. So you have people like Coach Wade down in Valley who knows what he's talking about. He's seen it, and the kid gets picked up, right? Yeah. That's the same way Coach DT from A&M, he said, yo, I knew the kid was a pro when I had him. The kid that got drafted by Houston, Bridges, Shamar Bridges. Thank you, Shamar Bridges. You know what I'm saying? So the kid that got drafted, I think that got drafted by Houston, coming out of Houston, and he went to A&M. DT said he knew he was a pro when he first got him. You know what I'm saying? Because just his skill set and everything like that. So you have some coaches that see it, right, and they know, hey man, listen, you go do big things wherever you're going. Then you got some coaches that can nurture them. But back to your question, I think it's a 80-20. 80% is on the coaches and 20% on the players. Why? Because the players don't know what they don't know, right? All they know is that I'm 6'2", I can do a 40-inch vert, I can do all this, but I don't know how to put it all together to make it look good to the NFL, right? So they only know what they don't know. So for the coaches,
but if your coach don't know,
you see what I'm saying?
You
see what I'm saying? The 20% is on the player. When I say the 20%, I'll say 70-30. And the 30% is on the player showing up, coming to work every day, doing all the right things, staying out of trouble, you know what I'm saying, putting it on the field. That is the player's responsibility. The coach's responsibility is to nurture that talent, mold that talent, and then put that player in any way possible through his connections in the right situation. In the right situation. So you got to put a lot of earnest on the coaches. And it's up to the coaches. I mean, listen, I'm not saying every coach knows, but some coaches are going to tell you, hey, man, you might want to just get your degree and focus on, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes they write, you know, I wouldn't tell, because some people could tell you out of spite and be like, yo, you're not that good. You're not going to go to the pro, and out of spite. But sometimes coaches know what they're talking about, and they be like, hey, man, like, I don't think the next level is for you. I would just tell you, hey, come here, get your degree. You know what I'm saying? And we'll make you a better young man and da-da-da-da. Because sometimes, or I'll say this, or coaches need agents that they know that can come into them and say, hey, I got 8 seniors. I got 12 seniors. Can you tell them who is really draft eligible or who the NFL scouts are really looking at? So these kids can get a real life example of what is going on. Because I'll tell you this, I talked to a scout at the Legacy Bowl. She was telling me straight up, that boy's not on nobody's radar. That boy's not on nobody's radar. That boy's, nobody knows about him. Nobody knows, like, that's how in depth she was going. And so the agents know, because I'm not going to put my money behind kids that don't have an opportunity. You get what I'm saying? So I think because most of them come to like the schools, like, okay, my best friend went to college with Carl Reed, you know, the guy from 247. Yeah.
So so she has my godson. My godson is in the process of being recruited as an O lineman.
Yeah.
Ethan's like 6'3", 280 at 16. And he's been walking her through, this is the camp he needs to go to.
Yep.
This is what they need. Because, you know, at college, once again, if you've never been there, you don't know how to navigate that, even as a parent. Because if you've never been recruited, you don't know how to navigate that. So as a coach, if you've never been invited to a pro camp, if you maybe never coached a pro, and you get somebody who, let's say, falls in your lap all of a sudden, you have to know what to do with it.
Yep. That's real.
So
I agree.
Appreciate it.
No problem, man. No problem. Appreciate the call, Dre, as always. And listen, I 100% agree. I 1,000% agree. If Ja'Cory Rankin had an actual quarterback, he would have had a 1,000-yard season. At least 800. At least 800 and some tubs, right? He's that type of special because he's quick enough and shifty enough to run routes, and he's explosive enough to take the ball off the top of your head. Against the FAMU game, now mind you, this is the FAMU defense that kept Jackson to 6 points. I think Jacory Rankin went for like $120 and like 5 catches. And me and Mr. Campbell, remember, because we were sitting right beside each other watching the game. He was like, yo, why don't they keep throwing it to the short kid in the slot, in the seam? And they just kept doing that, throwing the seam. Jacory Rankin, taking it off the top of the head. Marquise Bell, all them Bamas. Got you. Marquise Bell at the Cowboys. Thank you. Stop it. Put some respect on my boy Jacory Rankin's name. He's like that. And sometimes, man, height measurables play such a big factor, and I feel so sorry for a lot of these kids. But the measurables, man, they just be like the measurables. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But I can't say enough good things about Coach Reggie Barlow, because I'm telling you, he made it real. He walked around, he talked to some of the players that he thought, had the potential to be in the XFL and all those type of things, man. So I can't say enough good things about Coach Reggie Barlow in his actions, to his presence, his actions, him being on the field. You know what I'm saying? Him being on the field and talking to the players, not walking in the booth, not being distant, being in the moment, being present, and being tangible to the players. Telling jokes and you can't stress that enough, man. You really can't. So I just think he needs his flowers as well because of the stuff that he did and he did at that event. So I salute Coach Reggie Barlow. So that was amazing. All right, let me get to some. I want to say congratulations. Then I'm gonna do some Father's Day stuff. All right, I gotta give a congratulations to everybody that was picked up for the XFL main event. You got Anderson from Alcorn. You got Stuckey from A&T. I know David, he was super proud. You got John from Kentucky State. You got Joshua Reed from Grambling. You got Tyler King from Edward Waters, right? So congrats to all these guys. They got invited to the XFL main showcase, right? The XFL scouting combine, right? So that's what they got invited to, the XFL scouting combine. It's the last event. They got a couple players. So I think they said it'll be about, 25 to 50 players. They come there and they do the XFL scouting combine and things like that. Hopefully after this video, they won't ban me. So maybe we can show up and show out and be there. All right. So shout out to all those guys that were picked up in the events. All right. Now, let's talk a little Father's Day. Let's talk a little Father's Day before I get up out of here, man. Listen, I want to talk to the fathers out there, right? If you're in a baby mama situation, if you're in any type of situations or things like that, I just want to encourage you, right? I just want to encourage you because I'll say this. If you go check out my Father's Day video last year, my kids were here for the summer, right? My kids are here for the summer. I was enjoying them and everything like that. Now they live with me full time. And I'll just tell you overall, it's been a journey. It has definitely been a journey to get to this point to where my kids live with me full time. And I'm appreciative. I love it. It's not the easiest job, but you know what I'm saying? When you make them, you got to take care of them, right? When you make them, you got to take care of them. So I just want to shout out. I want to salute all the fathers who are present. Maybe you're away from your kids. You know what I'm saying? Because for a couple of years, I was miles away from my kids. I was living in South Carolina. My kids were in Texas. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a distant dad, you're still a great dad, right? And it's something my mom told me because it was a hard decision for me to leave my kids in Dallas when I went to South Carolina. But my mom would tell me, she said, "How can you take care of anybody if you can't take care of yourself?" And at that point, you know what I'm saying, it was a rough moment that I had to make a decision that I had to focus on myself to be better for my kids. And I tell any dad that, right? It doesn't make you a bad dad because, you know, you're out here grinding and working and trying to do something better for your situation, for your kids, and you can't be there all the time, right? You can't be there all the time. You can't be at every birthday. You can't. You try, but you can't, right? But those phone calls matter. Those FaceTimes matter. Those presents, they matter, right? When you're sending stuff through Amazon, telling them you're thinking about them, and you FaceTime and all that stuff matters. So I just want to tell you guys, just keep pushing, keep grinding. It's not easy. We matter. We matter. We matter. Right? Don't let nobody tell you you don't matter into your son or daughter's life, because you do. You're just as influential as anything else, right? As a dad. So I love dads, man. I love black dads. And like Bishop Bonnet said, know your rights, right? Let me say this. Stop. Listen to me. Okay, listen to me on this one. Stop trying to duck child support, right? Put yourself on papers so you can get visitation. I'm going to keep it a buck with you, right? I've been there, right? My third one, I was like, dang, I ain't trying to put the third one on child support. I put my third one on, it got cheaper. I can't explain it, but it do, right? Put yourself on papers so you get visitation. Because if you keep being scared of child support, that's when she says, I don't want you picking them up on the weekends. Oh, I'm gone. I'm this. I'm that. Put yourself on papers so you get, DNA test too. Thank you. But you usually have to get one. They usually ask you, do you want one when you put yourself on papers? When you put yourself on papers, they say, hey, Mr. Scott, do you want to get a DNA test for this kid? Absolutely, right? And then you get your visitation and you get all that stuff in writing. So when she want to act the fool, right, call the local county cops. Call the local county cops. Come get this girl. She bugging. I'm supposed to have my son or daughter this weekend. Stop being scared of that. All right? Put yourself on papers. You'll thank me in the long run. All right? Because a lot of guys will be like, man, you know, we in a good situation, man. You know, she ain't put me on child support and all that stuff. It's called manipulation. Now, if you guys can co-parent like that, that's cool. I'm not telling you to dictate. If you and your baby mama have a very platonic relationship, ain't no arguing, ain't no that. Hey, if that's what you feel is your duty, do it, right? But I'm telling you, as soon as you make that girl mad, or as soon as you don't do something they want you to, they gonna dictate to you, and you're gonna be in a situation. All right. You're going to be in a situation, and then you're going to be, I'm telling you. Because if you make her mad and she go to court and you haven't been paying child support for 10 years, they will put you on back child support for 10 years. I'm just trying to teach you some game. All right? I'm just trying to teach you some game because I had to learn it the hard way. All right? Had to learn it the hard way. So I'm just letting you know. All right. And I'm going to tell you this. If you got it, go get you a lawyer. If you got it, go get you a lawyer. I don't know what it is. Women can, what's it called? Pro se, self-pro se themselves. Women can pro se themselves. Because why? They have the AG protecting them. And they got themselves, and then they got the mom card, right? Dads, if you're able to get a lawyer, go get you one. If the court will appoint you one, go get you one, right? I don't know what it is about just having a lawyer, all right? So I'm just telling you, it's a world of difference, right? It's nothing better than sit there, you don't say nothing, and your lawyer's doing all the talking, and I'm telling you. Nothing better. But I'm just telling you, because that AG and your baby mama are on the same page, and they trying to get this money. Okay, they trying to get this money. So that just is what. And also, before we go, I would like if anybody wants to call in about anything that their father, uncle has taught them or any life lessons. I heard somebody ask this question at our cookout yesterday. I thought it was so impactful. If there's any life lessons, you can put it in the chat. I'll bring it up. You know what I'm saying? But if there's any life lessons or stories or things that your father, your uncle, your dad, your brother had taught you guys that you guys keep with you to this day, I would love to hear them. Because think about it, you know, men, the one thing about men is that we don't always have a community, right? You know, it's you got your boy, but you never want to put too much on your boy because you don't want to come off as like a simp or whatever. And then your boy is never really going to dive really too deep because he don't want to really, you know, get all in your business like that. There's just a certain thing that guys, you know what I'm saying? Like when you got a real friend or a real bro that you feel like you can pour out to and you can be like, man, I'm going through this, that, and the third. And he can really give you some solid advice. That is a true friendship that you should value. And I'm not saying the surface ones you shouldn't value as well. But I'm just saying as men, we don't always have, you know, as women, they'll get together and they'll pour out their heart. Oh, girl, he doing me so wrong. He doing this, that, and the third. All the girls around there, I know, girl. I know. Oh, he ain't that. Guys don't have that. All right. Guys mostly like, yo, man, she tripping, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah, baby mamas ain't shit, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you want to go hit, you want to go shoot some hoops or something. You know, like that's how guys talk. So if there's anything that you know that your father, your dad, your uncle, your brother, whoever a father figure in your life has given you, please put in the chat, call in, tell me the experience, tell me the story. I would love to hear it because as fathers, as black men, we should be able to pour into other black men for each other, right? You know, I have that, and I'm blessed to have a community that I have now with Mr. D, with Mr. Campbell, with my boy D, with my boy Blaine. You know what I'm saying? With my guy Kenny. You know, like these guys pour into me, and you know they can call me for anything, but it's great to have people that you can tell stuff to, and they pour into you and give you great advice and tell you when you're wrong, and tell you when you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because you need friends like that. If you can't be corrected, if somebody doesn't want to correct you, that ain't love, right? Now I'm not saying they need to be all pissy when they do it and stuff like that, but if you can't take correction, you know what I'm saying? There's no love. Mr. Body, oh man, listen. Hey, listen, Mr. Body, Andrew dad, hey, listen. Andrew's dad is different, okay? Andrew's dad is different. You talking about a man of faith? Oh, my God. Like, talking to Mr. Body, if you talk to Mr. Body for more than an hour or 2 hours, he will make you think that you can run through a brick wall. I'm telling you, man. Mr. Body, he just has he has a mindset that just doesn't waver. Like, he's like, Scotty, no, God's going to do this, or God's going to do that, or no, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do, like, he has such a central focus. It's just amazing to me. Like, he doesn't waver. He's just like, I'm telling you, you talk to Mr. Body for like more than an hour or 2 hours, he will make you run through a brick wall, and he'll make you believe you can do it too. You know, like he's just that man. Listen, Andrew is blessed to have a father like that. I'm not going to lie to you. Just manhood, being the son of a military dad, you appreciate as you get older. I appreciate that, Dre. Thank you for that. Miss Glenn says, my dad taught me how to save a good credit. Hey, that ain't bad. You definitely need people around you that will check you when you need it. Exactly, Brandon. Exactly. Let me see. Best life lesson my dad gave me. If you start a fight, it's time to leave. Physical fight, don't look back. If y'all start fighting, it's time to leave. Physical fight, don't look back. That's good. Let me see what else we got. My dad, being the oldest of 16 kids and a son of a sharecropper, taught me not to be afraid to get my hands dirty. I was fortunate to be able to get an engineering degree and work in the office. That is amazing, Mr. D. That is amazing, Mr. D. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That's dope. That is dope. Congratulations to you and you know your dad pushing through and doing that type of stuff. That's crazy. That was fire. Let me see what else we got here coming up. Said my dad taught me don't let no one get you in trouble. That's good. That's good. That's good. You know, for me, my dad wasn't always around. He was in and out of jail, so I didn't really have a lot of my dad moments. And Bobby, I see you, I'm gonna come to you. But my mom was just as pivotal in that role. They call her a mama father, right? But my mom said a man with no integrity is not a man. That is something that's always stood with me. My mom, my mom always used to say that to me, and she would always say, a man keeps his word. A man says what he's going to do, and he keeps his word. And those two things have stood with me the test of time. So shout out to my mom on Happy Father's Day. She is who she is. Bobby, coming to you.
Man, first off, Happy Father's Day, my brother.
Same
Happy
to you,
Father's
my
Day
God.
to all the fathers. Man, I had to get on here and say this about my pops, man. He never said it, but it was his actions. My dad never stopped to share with me not just his successes, but his failures and how he recovered from those failures or things that just didn't go right. And he never claimed to know everything. So if I went out to find answers from other sources, he would actually help me find those sources sometimes to help me get the answers, because he never wanted me just to be a carbon copy of him, like him, but not a copy. You know what I mean? And I have my own things that I messed up on, and he didn't have an answer to it. And he would say, son, I have no clue how you did that or how to get you out of it. But go talk to Mr. Johnson down the street. I think he had a similar situation. And as in my adult life, I've never shied away from young men that look up to me with telling them everything that went right, everything that went wrong. You know, if they see me cry, they see me cry. You know, it is what it is. Yeah. You got to be human. And, you know, so shout out to my pops for that.
No, I appreciate that, B. And I think a lot of, you know, I could probably count on one hand how many times I see my mom cry. Like legit. You know what I'm saying? And most of those were like her losing her parents. I think as men, you know, my son has probably seen me cry a couple of times, and it's usually because I'm so proud of what he's done. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, him taking some of the lessons that I've taught him and he reciting it back to me, or having a moment, or, you know, my daughter, you know, being proud of wearing her natural hair and knowing she's beautiful. Like those moments you don't take for granted. You know what I'm saying? Because one, to have them for a time to see that progression is nothing like it, right? From when I first got them to where they're at now, the progression alone is just amazing. But just to see some of the stuff that they say or do that is like me, or some of the sayings I have, you know what I'm saying? Like even when they get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what it is, right? I'm not gonna want to see you. I'm like, yeah, you ain't gonna want to see me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even have to say it. They just know it's coming. And I didn't even know I said it that much, right? Until they started saying it back to me. Like, I'm like, they were like, Dad, I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you. Like, you know. So it's those moments, man. And Bobby, I really appreciate you calling in and telling your story about your father, because, like I said, you know, another dad could hear that and say, you know what, I'm gonna try that for my son. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what these moments are all about, is somebody hearing you say that about your father and say, man, like, that was impactful for him. I might try that. You know, I'm not gonna act like I know everything. I'm gonna be a human and tell my son to be resourceful in how he finds information. You know what I'm saying? So I just appreciate you for calling in. I appreciate you for sharing that with us.
It's all love, man. Love the show.
Appreciate it, B.
Yep.
Because listen, man, like, nobody has all the answers in parenting. Nobody. Okay. And I'll be the first one to tell you nobody. But, you know, at the end of the day, sharing your moments, sharing those moments about your father, about your uncle, about your grandfather, those moments mean a lot. And you value those memories, because what it really shows you is how much, like, let's say you spend 30 years with your father, 40 years with your father. What is the stuff that you really remember? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the stuff you truly remember when it comes to that father figure in your life? You know what I'm saying? Of just like what they've done, or what, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, the stuff I remember with my mom is my mom always being present, right? The stuff I remember about my dad is that whenever I was around my dad was the center of attention. My dad was the funniest. My dad was the loudest. I'll tell you a time. Okay, I'll tell you a time, and you guys can judge me however you want. I don't care, right? I think I was about 12, maybe 13 at the time. Once again, my dad's from Savannah, Georgia. I'm from the suburbs. Very different lifestyle, right? So I go down to Savannah. I'll never forget this story. I go down to Savannah to be with my dad for the summer, right? And if anybody knows anything about Savannah, Georgia, Bama's ride bikes, okay? Your local neighborhood, Bama's probably got like 5 or 6 bikes in the shed. I don't know what it is about Savannah, but Bama's just love riding bikes in Savannah, right? So my dad got about like 6 bikes in the shed, right, at my granny's house. So I get a bike. I'm riding it at the park or whatever. And I'm at the park, and I'm swinging at the park. And the girl comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, can I ride your bike?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." Right. So she's riding the bike. She probably rode it for about 10 or 15 minutes. I'm like, "Hey, can I get my bike back?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "No." She's like, "No, I'm not giving your bike back." I'm like, "What do you mean, give my bike back?" Right? You know, like mind you, I'm like, what is this? What is this? Right? What are we doing? She's like, "No." Right? And she proceeds to ride off with my bike. And I'm just like stunned. I'm like, yo, I'm about to be a dead man walking back to my dad, telling him I got jacked by a girl for my bike, right? So I'm walking back, right? I'm walking back to the house, and I actually ran back to the house. I was running. I was huffing. I was like, "Dad, right?" And my dad was walking up to the park, and my dad, he real tall, but he real thin, right? He got the jail body. He real thin, but he's built. And my dad's like, "Yeah." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Dad, this girl stole my bike." And my dad's like, "What? You let a little girl steal your bike?" And I'm like, she said she wanted to ride it. He said, "Where'd she go?" And I said, "She went that way." My dad ran her down. Yo! My dad on foot, like Men in Black, right? Like LAPD, free NYPD. I mean, my dad ran her down on foot, caught her, and got her off my bike. My dad walked the bike back up to me. He said, "Don't let nobody else ride your bike." You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it was crazy. I will never in my life forget that. Never in my life. If my dad heard that story, he probably bust out laughing. Like, he like, "Oh, do you remember that, son?" I remember it like it was yesterday. Right? I'm telling you, my dad ran that girl down on foot. I was like, yo, my dad is a monster. Like, my dad was crazy, man. Scotty was on the west side of Savannah. I don't know which side I was on, but I was on Martin Luther King Boulevard, I'll tell you that. I'm on Martin Luther King, and I'm probably, it's like, I don't know where, it's like a big park in the middle of Savannah, right? It got like a basketball court. It got like a funeral. It got like a church right next to it. but it's literally like in the middle of Savannah, like right past the SCAD buildings. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so right past the SCAD. So if you're coming in, once you pass the SCAD building, you like right to the right-hand side is that park. That's the park that my dad used to take me to all the time. We played basketball and stuff like that. But yeah, man. Yeah, it was rough over there. I ain't even gonna lie to you, it was rough. But you know, you got that girl from Family of Thieves. It's scary. She probably a booster, right? Yeah, man. Yo, Forsyth Park. Yep, that's the park. Hey, man, listen, in the summers, they used to have some good sandwiches out there. I used to be out there getting them free sandwiches, them free milk, them free carton of milk and apple juices. Boy. So, yeah. So, let me see another story about my dad. My dad was a basketball player. He played football, played basketball. So he always, when I was growing up, and when he would come visit or he would come see me, he would always take me to the court. And he would always be like, me and my son against whoever, right? My dad was, you like, man, but my dad's a superhero. Like, but he was just good, man. I'm talking about my dad being like 40, 42, 43. I was probably like, because my dad had me late. Because I think my mom was 35 when she had me. I think my dad's like 33 or 34. So, yeah. So when he would take me to the court, he had to be like 45 or 46. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 10, 11 years old playing. And my dad would just be out there dunking, shooting. I'm like, yo. Like, my dad is the coldest, right? So, but I remember this one time he took me to the court, and I couldn't make left-hand layups, right? I couldn't make left-hand layups to save my life. My dad took his belt, right? I'll never forget this. My dad took his belt. He tied my arm. He put the belt around my arm. Now, mind you, I'm like 10 or 11 years old at this time, so his waist, I don't want y'all to think, I'm little. I'm a little tiny kid. So he took his belt, he tied it around my waist and linked it and made me dribble for hours, just practicing on my left hand. Like I catch the ball coming down the hoop, dribble around, left hand, da-da-da-da. Listen, I was I felt like He Got Game. Anybody seen him? I know y'all seen the movie He Got Game. You know the part where Ray Allen, as a kid, he throws the ball over the park and it goes rolling down, right? I'm tired of this grandpa. I'm tired of this dad. And he throws the ball. That's how I felt. That's exactly how I felt. But listen, I wouldn't change it for the world because I actually feel more comfortable going to my left than my right hand, even when I play basketball to this day. I feel more comfortable going left than I do right. And that's thanks to my father. You know what I'm saying? So I always tell people who ask me, like, I said I would have been a 10 times better athlete if my dad was present, because my dad was going to push me to a level I would have never pushed myself. Right? Because I always like to feel comfortable. That was always my problem. Like in school or whatever, I just did enough. I always just did enough. I never pushed myself past my boundaries. But my dad always challenged me. He always made me think I could do more. Ride faster, run faster, jump higher. You know what I'm saying? And I always said if my dad was more present in my life, I probably would have been a 10 times better athlete, because he would have pushed me into areas that I would never have thought about pushing myself. Because my mom, even though my mom was present and my mom took me to all the football games, she wasn't going to train me. You know what I'm saying? My mom wasn't going to be out there, watching me do 100 left-hand layups. You know what I'm saying? My mom wasn't going to be doing that, but my dad would have. My dad would have been right there, right? You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate those little moments like that I have with my father, because they weren't always like that. You know what I'm saying? It was most times talking to him on the phone in the jail. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate you, Edward, man. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. But I didn't have the perfect dad, but I appreciate what my dad has done and did do for me. Right. And I appreciate all you that are here, because I mean, a dad had to nut in somebody for y'all to be here. Good, bad, or indifferent. He had to bust that nut for y'all to be here, and you're here. You know, so I thank you, all 140 of y'all families. You know what I'm saying? It was 144 dads in here that was stroking. All right. Sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? So that's the truth, though. That's the truth. I ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, got my whiskey. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. All right, man. But guys, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate all the fathers out there that are present. Like I said, keep breaking the molds, keep breaking the stereotypes. You know what I'm saying? I did. Oh man, yeah. But it's true though. It's true though. You know what I'm saying? It's true. But you know, oh man, listen. You know the quickest way to get my mom mad? Bring up something about my dad. Oh my God. The quickest, my mom is probably like, she's not like, she don't fly off the handle very much. My mom is like real even keel, right? My mom is real even keel. Like, she'll just tell you about yourself and just tell you about yourself. But you want to see my mom get upset? Bring up something about my dad. Boy, she will fly. She will fly. That just is so funny to me. That is just so funny to me. Like, she'll be and my dad, he always trying to get back with my mama. They've been divorced. They probably been, I'm 33. They probably been divorced for like 25 to 27 years, right? They've been divorced for like 27 to 25 years. Every time I call my dad, you know what? I'm gonna bless y'all today. I know Key gonna be like, no, I'm gonna bless y'all today. I'm gonna call my dad. I'm gonna call my dad. I'm gonna see if he gonna answer. I ain't gonna tell him I'm on live though. This is about to be so funny. Oh, I hope he picks up. Let me see. Hold on. Of course he wouldn't pick up. Oh, yeah, I got lucky.
Please.
I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna try to call him one more time, see if he answers.
Hello?
Hey, what's up, Dad? What you doing?
What up, Dad?
What's up? What's going on?
Boy, you know OG's hanging out. Happy Father's Day to you, son.
Happy Father's Day to you too, Dad. Happy Father's. How you doing?
Hey, Dad. I got the OGs hanging out with me on the porch, fool.
Oh, okay.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm chilling. I'm chilling.
Then y'all, dude.
Yeah, you talk to Mom? If you talk to Mom?
Duh.
What she say?
Man, I tried to call her. She answered my phone. I don't know what's going on with her, fool. I can't do no much but call her, fool. I'm giving you 1,000. You hear me?
Oh, okay. I thought I thought she would have picked up for you, Dad.
No. You know, I tried to call her, fool. But she ain't answering the phone, dude.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, hey, Come on now, be real. Get to be in me dirty.
Okay.
I love her ass, folks. Straight like that.
Straight like that, Dad.
I'm straight like that, folks. I will fuck a nigga up the message of my. I ain't lying. I don't know if she dealing with that, but I will come with that nigga. You don't want to fuck with this, folks. Straight like that.
That's real.
You call her?
No, I haven't talked to her today.
I tell you what. Tell her to call, man, mom called dad. Straight like that.
Straight like that. All right, I'm gonna reach out to her. I'm gonna let her know to call you.
I say straight like that.
All right.
All right.
All right. I love you, Dad.
All right.
All right.
Love you, son. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm telling you, every time, I'm telling you, Happy Father's Day, right? That's my dad. That I'm telling you, every time, bro. They've been divorced for like 27 years. 27 years, man. 27 years. So, no, I'm not Clement. He's that's my dad, man. He like my dad is hood. Okay. My dad is Savannah. Do you hear me? He is Savannah through and through. So, but yeah, man, that's my dad. So he be chilling. He just be chilling. You know, we talk every now and again. So it is what it is. He said my pop the same way. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought that'd be funny. You know, it's my dad, man. He just is who he is. He just is who he is. I should call mom. I want to call my mom so bad. And I want to see what she gonna say. Let me see. My mom will kill me. Damn, my mom will kill me. Let me see. She ain't gonna answer though. She never answers.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Ma?
Not much.
What you doing?
In bed.
I just talked to Dad. He told me to call you and tell him and tell you to call him.
And that's what you call me at 22:17 for.
He just, you know, I ain't want to act like I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you that you told me to call you and tell you, you know what I'm saying, to call him.
Call him for what?
He just want to talk to you. He said he tried to call you, you don't answer.
He has my number though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He said he called and he said, you know, you don't pick up. So that's why I was just like, he said, call your mom and tell her I be trying to talk to her, but she don't answer. I said, oh, okay, I'll call her and tell her.
So what did you do today for Father's Day? You said it was the best one.
Oh, because I have my kids with me.
You never had your kids on Father's Day before?
Not until I was living in Dallas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, but yeah, that was it.
Something.
I would just say that was it. You know, I ain't went. You know, I was just call. You know what I'm saying?
Did they wake you up or something this morning?
Nah, I was already up. They was asleep.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. You called him and wish him happy Father's Day.
Yes,
Ooh.
I surely did.
That's good. Mm-hmm.
All right, Mom. I just want to call you and tell you that I ain't want to forget.
I can't believe that box didn't get there. What?
You keep changing this. You keep changing this subject.
Why are you laughing?
I just find it amusing. I keep saying like, "Hey, all right, cool." You just keep changing the subject, but that's it. That's all the reason I call it. That's the only reason I call it.
I cannot believe. Now, when that box comes, because tomorrow's a holiday, it won't come today.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, make sure the kids are with you when you open.
I got you, Mom.
All right.
All right, love
I
you.
can't believe. I think it was in the morning because I laid got early. I thought it. Okay.
All right.
Then I was like, I thought it was either later in the morning. So I'm like, hey, I called something must be wrong. Boy, somebody just dad, somebody called. Okay.
All right, bro.
Thank you.
All
Bye
right,
bye.
love you. Bye bye. There you go. Scotty was the kid that showed off and company can't work out. Oh man, listen, my mom, I'm telling you, and that's a very subtle version of my mom. Very, very subtle. Very, very subtle. So I'm not gonna tell her this happened. Because if I tell her this happened, she gonna be hot. Okay. She gonna be hot. So I ain't about to tell her this happened. And you guys aren't gonna tell her this happened either. So let's just keep this between us and all 100. You know what I'm saying? All 144 of y'all, let's just keep this between us. I appreciate that. All right. I just appreciate that. Scotty with the child, they got a whooping right after a bad. Oh, never happened. Never happened. Never happened. Never happened. Key go get Scott. Keep it. He gonna do a show skull caps on. She gonna see it. She not gonna watch. She not gonna watch. All right, listen. I'm gonna get up out of here. All right, I hit the 2-hour mark. You already know what it is. I don't try to keep y'all too late. All right, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. You seen the family. You heard my dad. You heard my mom. You already know what it is. Full expose over here at the Offscript family. Until next time. He said we all snitching. He said we all snitching. Oh man. You can tell Scotty used to work his move on his parents. Listen, there is no move on my mom. Okay, my mom was like she's like a freaking detective. All right. But until next time, you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna holler. God bless.